Come along and see our back patio makeover. You'll also get to see one of our little visitors that came out to see what we did right after we were finished. So this is our blank slate right here, and we are going to be planting flowers. We're going to put some seating in and just make it really comfortable and beautiful so we can take a look at our birds out there, take a look at our garden. It's going to be awesome. So come along and see what we're going to do. And if this is your first time here, my name is Marlene. Welcome to my home and garden channel. So this is what it was looking like with everything out and about before we started doing anything. You can see we have my rosemary plant right there. That large container is so rusty, it needs to be changed. And we have a couple of perennials out here in some pots. We have 2 large pots right here as well. And we got these on sale. They were like for just $8. Unbelievable. They are made of plastic. And over here we have a couple of perennials, one that was repotted and a couple others that need to be potted up as well. So take a look, guys. You can see how the floor is looking there, that it really needs, a touch up. And we're so excited to get started with this. So the first thing that I did was to go into my garden center to get some additional flowers, just some annuals to help to give an additional pop of color. And I just made a beeline right over to begonias. They're one of my mainstays for part sun because our back patio is part sun and they are perfect for that kind of an environment. And it's always good to match your plants based on how much sunlight that particular area that you're working on is going to get so they can be their best and they'll be, like in the most comfortable environment for them. This was a 12 pack of flats for $13.98, which I thought was a good price. So this is how it's looking here, guys, with everything taken off. This basically is day 1. You can see we are ready to get everything going here. You can see that we have dirt, there's a little mud in some places, a little bit of moss from the winter, early spring that is still on there. So we need to get that handled. And the first thing first was that my husband went in with his pressure washer and he started on the walls first, being higher up. He started off with those first to get that clean. And then next he went and started to do the flooring. And here he's using the surface clean that attaches automatically to your pressure washer. And I'll link in the description box below where you can get something similar on Amazon if you like. And it makes the job so much easier, guys. It covers such a wider area and it gets that, close-up scrubbing that you can see is really working right there. So he's adding the final touches right here to get everything cleared off. And this went pretty quickly and it really did not take a whole lot of effort, which is always a plus. Over here you can see some markings that are on there and those are not going to be going anywhere. We can't wash those off. We'll probably maybe use some concrete paint in the fall. And if you have any ideas of anything else that might work easily to cover up things like that, let us know in the comments. So it is day 2. It's all nice and clean out here. So today we're going to be planting flowers, the caladiums, and I have some begonias down here. And I have another large pot like this one to put my rosemary in. I'm going to go ahead and repot it. And I just want to take the moment to say thank you so much for subscribing. If you've subscribed already, if you have not, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell twice so you never miss an upload. I so appreciate it and it helps you to follow along with all of my garden projects and garden tours. So let's go ahead and get to planting. So the next thing that we're doing is to repot this rosemary plant right here. You can see that it's really large and it really needs to be taken out now. This about 3.5 years ago, guys, I did a previous video right here. And if you look on the left, you can see that's where it started from. Unbelievable, right? They grow so fast. So first thing that my husband did was to get some holes in the bottom of it here. Because of course you have to have proper drainage holes so the water will come out and they won't have any root rot. So he's just going in and putting those holes in. And it looks so much like wood, it's not, but it gives it that nice look, which I really, really like. So this is what it looks like over here. Now you can see the holes in the bottom, so there'll be proper drainage on there. And then what I did was just to get some of our, native soil from the ground in the garden, from one of our flower beds that we were working on, and mixing that in with the soil that we bought. And that plant is a little bit of a rough and tumble rosemary. It doesn't, like really light soil and stuff like that. It can handle soil like this, so we mix it in together Plus it helps to save money as well too. So we just added them in, to get that filled up because it's so large. You can see my mulch to the side. So this is what it looked like right here now, once we had mixed everything and made a hole for the rosemary. Now this part was a challenge for me because I thought, oh, it rained, so since it rained the day before, it should be nice and soft and easy to take out. But it was quite a bit of a challenge. So I went for backup, and I had my husband come in with a shovel, and he went in, and even so, it was still a little bit hard for it to come out. And guys, this thing was so root bound. That's why it's so important to, repot your perennials every now and then. Look how large it is under there. So I had to go in and cut some off. And even at this point, it was still too big. So we had to go in and take out some more of the soil that was in there. And you can see how dry it looks because the top of the plant was wet, but the bottom was so dry. So it really, really needed to be repotted. So we finally got it placed inside there. And this is what it's looking like right now. And I know it's going to be happy in this new container right here. So then I went in and I watered it first, and then I added some mulch afterwards. And, it's going to take a little time for it to, reacclimatize to its new home. But it's going to be okay very, very shortly. So I was very, very pleased with that project. Next thing now was to plant another container with the begonias, caladiums, and that's my geranium right there that I had on the front porch, and I had repotted that one already to a larger container. And when you're using the 12 packs, guys, you're a little bit tough, so you may want to get something like my little pruners right there, which I'll link below to help you to cut that out a little bit easier. So at first I thought I was going to use this container, and I put some of my potting mix in there along with some garden soil just to make it, a nice fluffy consistency. Put a little bit of manure in there as well. But then later on I decided that I didn't like how it looked, so I decided to just switch over to another container before even going any further. But I gave it a good mix so it was really ready to go in the next one. And we'll catch up on that. But right now we are taking a look at me repotting my rose bush. This container is about 2 inches wider, so it's still a little bit bigger. And it's a lot deeper, so I know that it's time for the rose to go into something larger, and this is good enough for right now until I decide if I want to put it in the ground or maybe try another larger container maybe in another year or two or so. So I had to go in and cut some of the roots off at the bottom here as well too, because there were so many similarly, not as badly pot bound, but still a bit of lots of roots going on around there. And I kept going until, it fit in perfectly, and then once it did, then, I was able to get it established and, just get the soil mixed in nicely. I went ahead and I added in some of the slow release fertilizer right here, because this will help to give it some nourishment to make it, come along nicer and feed it really well. It would still be okay, but it doesn't hurt to add a little bit of the slow release fertilizer. And you can use different types that are available out there, for your shrubs and things like that. So we had some little gaps at the sides. I put a little bit more in there and made sure that it was enough to keep it going. And then once I had done that, I just went ahead and got some more of the soil and just filled in all the little gaps that were there at this side. And I know that this rose is also going to be happy as well, once it gets established in its little new home here. So then this is what the annuals look like. Well, that's a perennial, the caladium. I put them in their little pots, and you'll see a reveal at the end, so be sure to stick around for that. But I did put the mulch on top of it, to help protect them, to keep them moist enough during the drier months of summer. And it'll look a lot better in a few minutes. But let's get on to the next project, which is unboxing and assembling our new patio set. It's a 6-piece patio set. We got this one at the Home Depot. I'll link a similar one for you because I didn't see any on Amazon that were exactly like that. You see, this says it holds 225 pounds, which I think is a reasonable size. So we'll put that down there for you as well. Of course, you can always pop into Home Depot if there are more of these that you can always get one. We thought it was a good price, and we thought it worked out really, really well. So this is a task now for my husband and my sons to come in and get this assembled. So we're going to go through step by step and show you exactly how they did it. So of course he's opening it up right here now with a box cutter to make sure that everything is, done neat and nice. And you can leave me a comment, if you ever buy your furniture like this, your patio furniture, or if you, get it in different ways. So over here now, they're going in and taking the things out, and you can see that everything is neatly packaged, which was quite impressive. I really wasn't sure what to expect. You can see what the chairs look like over there, and the plastic and the umbrella is behind them in the corner there. Over here we have the manual, which I don't think they use it at all this time, which I always say, just use a manual to start. But they're just like, oh, it looks so simple, we'll just go ahead. It had a tool in there. It also had this frame in there. It kind of helps to keep it in place. You can see all the different parts that are in there. And everything is perfectly landed. If you do use a manual, it definitely helps, but they felt they could just go ahead without it this time. So I said, okay, go for it. And everything was really nicely arranged in here. I must say, everything that we needed was there, and we were quite happy with that. The glass was well protected. And over here now, one of my sons is screwing in one of the parts that go down to the leg. You can see it right there. No gloves today, but I'll give them a break. I was trying to tell them, wear your gloves when you're doing your little safety jobs. But, you know, this one was fairly safe, but still I usually recommend it. And over here now, my husband is screwing in the other part. And it was just so easy. They said it was so easy. Very easy to do. So if you're considering that, highly recommended that you could definitely try that. Of course, get help to lift it because it's a little heavy when the box comes in. So this is what it's looking like right here. The hole is in the center. The plug can be removed so the umbrella can go down in there. And this is them here, you know, unwrapping the chairs. You can see that the arms are protected, you know, with the different types of wrapping and packaging. So, and I like this color. I think it, you know, it's neutral, so it works with so many things. It's kind of almost like a blank slate, so anything will go along with it. And they were going so fast, I was like, which one do I concentrate on? They were just getting this, knocking it out so fast, which is really good. You know, that's a plus for the product. Yeah. So once we had it, it didn't come with an umbrella stand. So my older son went to go and get one for us, and he made a pretty good choice. Here, this one says it weighs 26 pounds, which it definitely did. So we'll need to put that at the base to make sure the umbrella doesn't blow over in windy weather. And just to give you a close-up, this is what it looks like right here. And that little part comes on there to screw it in. And just by skill, just give you an idea how large it was. Put my hand beside it there. And just to say, guys, at this point, that if you love gardening, you love flowers, you know, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow along so you get to see all of my upcoming videos, and hit the notification bell twice. Next thing now, and this is day 3, was to go ahead and get some flowers cut. These are my beautiful hydrangeas right here. Perfect for the summertime. They last a really long time, you know, a couple weeks. You know, you'll have your blooms lasting. It's so pretty, and I absolutely love them. And they're also perfect for Father's Day too, so I think that is always a plus. And in this case, guys, it was so large, I felt that one would have been sufficient, so I only cut just one. You can tell me what you think at the end. So over here now, this is me with it in the vase. And I'm ready to arrange everything. Everything has basically been put out in place just to arrange everything and see how it looks. And my little friend over here on cue came to see it. You'll remember that when I did my spring porch video that the parents were at the front garden. And I love rabbits. Since we lost our dog, you know, once he died, you know, a few months passed and they started coming back to the garden again. And I love them as long as they don't eat my plants. And they really don't. They just have the weeds and the grass, which is perfectly fine for me. By the way, guys, my Easter lilies are in full bloom right now, so be sure to check this video out. I'm going to link it at the end for you. You'll get to see that as well as all the other flowers that are blooming in my garden right now. So guys, just a reminder of what it looked like before we started. And now let's take a look at the reveal. So this is how it's looking right here now, guys. I've shifted the chairs a little bit so you could get a better angle of where everything fits. Over here is the rosemary. You can see it's looking fabulous, and I'm so happy for this plant. It's just going to be awesome. And I like to put the leaves too in my flower beds to keep, little pests away from there. It actually helps. Over here you can see the table with my hydrangea on top there, and I love the vase. That was actually given to me by my kids for Mother's Day, and it worked so well with the hydrangea that is in there. It is just so beautiful. I love it. And you can see over here the cushion that is there has a nice blue and white color. And I said, well, the front porch was so pink, you guys remember I said, it's time for me, So I did a lot of pink, but I said, okay, since we're doing the other side now, let's go ahead and get some blue in for them so they can feel like, okay, this is for us too. And over here now we have the mosquito netting over by the door. My older son got this. And it works pretty well. It doesn't allow the mosquitoes, it prevents the mosquitoes from going in when you go into the door. It snaps back together. But I have something really, really special coming in an upcoming video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Down here now we have a rubber mat, which I think works well because back here it's not covered. So, you need something that's going to get, will get wet and dry off very quickly. So over here are the flowers, guys. So, so beautiful. The caladium is in a single pot at the front there. And then behind it, you can see the caladium mixed with the begonias right here. And that's my geranium looking fabulous. I'm so glad that I repotted it and put it around here because it gets a little bit more sun here than on my front porch. So it is much happier in that larger container and with more sun. Over here now I have my fern. And all of these fern, they are volunteer ferns. I have never planted a fern. Every single one you're seeing, they came up by themselves, and there's 3 different types around there. So I absolutely love that. So back here now we have some other plants. I'm going to give away one of these and I'm going to plant one somewhere else. In the meantime, we're just sticking them right there. I have my mint, a repotted rose, and this was actually from one of my sweet neighbors. So very kind. She gave it to me quite a few years ago. So leftover begonia right there. I thought, well, let's just put it in here. Maybe I'll put it in a larger pot in weeks to come. We'll see how that goes. And to show you how the umbrella looks right here, it's later in the day, but you can see how it looks right there. It gives us sufficient shade. Of course, the option is there to always get a bigger umbrella if necessary, like in the future. We'll see how that goes. But for right now, it works perfectly well for us. So I really like the color pop right back here, the blues here and there. I thought it worked really, really well. And you can let me know if you like the blue. A little switch out for the boys, matching containers over there, switching out from the black to the blue. Let me know how you feel, if you like it or not. I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspires you to get your back patio going if you haven't done it already. Stay tuned. See you in the next video, and happy, happy gardening. Take care.